case that terrorized the Pacific Northwest for decades. In the 80s and 90s, dozens of women and girls were murdered in our area by that man, the serial killer Gary Ridgway, better known as the Green River Killer. Tonight, Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman spoke to Dave Reichert, the lead detective on the case, about rumors regarding Ridgway's deteriorating health.
I'm here with Dave Reichert, the man who was face-to-face more than anyone with Gary Ridgway. And I think the question I have for you today is, what do we know about his health?
Yeah, you know, that's a good question. I've heard for the past year that he's been in failing health, very ill. I have seen photos of him in a wheelchair. He looks pretty frail from the photographs. But this week's activity has kind of picked up a little bit, and there's some rumors that I've heard that he is close to death.
How do you feel knowing, or what goes through your mind knowing that Ridgway is so close to the end of his life?
When I heard this, that he was close to death, my thoughts go back to the families, and
yes.
Here's a human being who was stalking, prowling our community, kidnapping, raping, and killing little girls, teenagers, and young women for years, and traumatized so many families and friends with the loss of their loved one. Which is a pain they never are able to heal. Ridgway has served 25 years about now in prison since he was arrested in 2001. He terrorized our community, so the victims and the victims' families, of course. Beyond that, the entire community was in fear. And then, and even greater than that, this is hard for some people to really comprehend, but the entire state, and maybe even the Northwest, because some bodies were found in Oregon. Here's a man who disrupted the lives of people who lived in the Northwest. One person created a tragedy, a horror that still lives on today. So he pled guilty to 49 murders. We closed 51 cases. He says he killed 65 people. That was his punishment, 49 consecutive life terms here on earth. That's what we could give him. It sounds to me like he's soon to die, and he'll meet his true judgment when he passes away.
I think I have to ask, if Ridgway does die without confessing or revealing more about the victims, what does that mean for families, for you, who you've been front and center in this case?
Well, I have to tell you, the King County Sheriff's Office, of course, I'm biased, but they have continued this investigation. They have monitored the information. They have accepted more tips. I continue to get calls from people still today. Hey, I think that, you know, so-and-so was a victim, or I think I may have met him and I have this information. I pass it on to the Sheriff's Office. They have kept this case open. All of those cases that are still unsolved today, I just talked to one of the sergeants yesterday. They are continuing this investigation. They have 3 victims that are still missing.
And we've talked about this before. This case not only consumed your life, your work life, but if we close this chapter now with all those unknowns, what do you want the community to remember about those victims who we may have never even learned their names?
Yeah.
And lastly, do you have any questions for Ridgway yourself?
For me, I want people to remember that the victims in this case were the daughters and sisters of mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters and aunts, uncles, cousins. They were somebody's cherished loved one, and some at 15 years old, the life was just ripped from this family by this monster. You know, when I interviewed Ridgway, you were staring pure evil in the eyes, and the pain that we went through with each family, the tears, the anguish, the sense of loss It's something that I can't explain. I've lost a mom and a dad, not the same, old age, illness, but that's the thing I think that we should really keep in mind, and as we look at sort of the demise of this case as he closes in on death. But for the victims' families, the case continues, the loss continues, and for those unsolved murders, those families are still suffering with questions that have not been answered yet.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
Back to you.